Hey everybody, in 431. I decided that I needed to talk a little bit of this through the next few weeks. I got behind last week. I'm trying to get caught up, and I totally retooled what I had originally planned to do in this next couple of weeks in our class, just based on the things I've been reading from your workshops, your field notes in particular, your note updates. Um, just thinking through the paper that's coming up. So I made a few changes. So I'm getting that out to you tonight. What you're going to notice is that this week I've kind of swapped when reading is due and ended up making a much shorter reading so that I could invite you to do a little bit of writing in prep for this longer paper that's due on November 8th. So this week, I would like you to please read through your field notes and all your notes from the workshop for the last 8 weeks. And then as you're reading those, I'd like you to keep track of some recurring problems that come up, growth you've seen over time. Like, what do you notice by reading that set? And then I want you to write like a 2-page kind of summary of that. Like, what's this process been like? Where have the students struggled? Where are they having success? What have you learned, from this workshop so far? And then I'd like you to end that couple of pages with some questions. And I'm hoping that then these questions can kind of drive this paper that's due in a few weeks. So you might have a question that's like, how do we help students be more participatory in these Zoom meetings? Or how do we support writers in drafting? What's the role of feedback in drafts? Like, whatever question you think is puzzling you, particularly if you're thinking about doing this next semester as being one of the mentors, what problem would you want to kind of wrestle with so that you could solve it when you go to be a mentor in these groups or just for your future teaching? So that's what I invite you to do by this Friday. I actually made a category in Currents for you to share that writing. If you'd prefer to write it in a Google Doc or something and share the link in that Currents community, that's fine too. Or you can just paste it right into the bulk. But, a couple pages, so they're going to be kind of longer posts. And then I moved the reading to Sunday, and I want to go back to that book, The Bad Ideas About Writing book. And I'm going to have you choose, they're all 3 or 4 page articles. Choose from, there's a cat walking behind me, from the category that's bad ideas about assessing writing. And I'm going to have you choose one of those. And then the following week, I'm going to have you choose a different one. So there's 5 different ones I've put in our Make Cycle to-dos for you to choose from, for you to pull some quotes and wrestle with those ideas. And then the following week, you'll read that again, and you'll keep track of your notes again. And then what I'd like to offer is one that you do the doodle poll so that maybe we can meet with Professor Hall. And remember, he's in Charlotte, North Carolina, so we're trying to find a time that works for him. So it's a little bit earlier in the day. So I hope we can find a time that works for most of us. He's excited to meet with us. We can even talk to him about this paper that's coming up, like even use his insights to help us draft this paper. And then I'd like you to take a look at the paper that's due November 8th, and it's called This Is What I Know So Far. And there's a couple of student examples that you could look at too for kind of both the tone. It can still be pretty informal, but I am asking you in that paper to put together literally, if someone were to ask you about tutoring writing, this is what you know so far, and using some of the readings from the course to support that paper. I'm going to offer that we do a virtual writing retreat on that Monday before the paper's due. And I could even do a couple of times where you drop in, you ask questions about the assignment, we write for a while, and maybe even get some initial feedback from each other. So as we get closer, I'll see if there's a time that day, which would be November 2nd, that works for you. So that's the plan. Of course, reach out if you have any questions. I will say this. I feel like there's some wobbliness going on, and I'm really bummed that we didn't do a synchronous session for this class in particular. I feel like some of you are all in, man. Really long field notes, super into the reading, leaving comments, pulling quotes and reflecting. And then a couple of you I feel like have disappeared. Like, I haven't seen you on the reading, I haven't seen your field notes. And I feel like because this class is asynchronous and you're just showing up to your workshops, it's easy to kind of put it out of sight, out of mind. So I'm hoping you'll reach out to me if something has happened or if you just need some support. And also just jump back in to doing those readings and getting your field notes done and those kinds of things. But always feel free to reach out. I still owe you feedback on those getting tutored papers, and I read through them when they first came in and they were so good. And so it's just top of my list right now. I just keep getting the demands right now, I'm sure, on all of our time is something else. Like I've never had so many demands, and I'm usually pretty busy anyway, like a constant thing from the institution, from Chico State, like needing me to do something. So it's made it exciting. I love reading your work. I love reading your notes on the workshops. And I appreciate you all so much and look forward to getting to see each other too, maybe with Mark calls and these virtual writing retreats over the next couple weeks. So yeah, reach out with any questions, and thank you all. Talk to you soon.